Yeah, so big week coming up. First American Conference game going to Dallas, playing SMU, who's one of the favorites to win it, rightfully so. Um, Really good program, a lot of really good players, really well coached. Um, and and so it's another week of work coming up.
Hunter, Coach, you've had a couple of days to kind of reflect on a game in Florida Saturday night. Talk about what you liked and what you didn't like from your team moving to this week.
Well, I'll start with what I didn't like. We didn't start fast, and we have a habit of doing that, and we're going to change that this week in practice because we're going to start every practice fast. But before you knew it, it was 10-0, and you just can't spot teams 10 points. Actually, a very interesting statistic that Tom told me yesterday was after the first quarter, which we did not start very fast, Charlotte had 180 yards of offense versus 170 for Florida. So it's kind of a you know a tale of two cities in a way. Maryland, we started fast and didn't finish well. Florida, we didn't start fast and we finished great. And the goal is now to put those together. What I'm happy about is the statistic I just gave you. We never quit. We do not quit in anything. Checkers, chess, football, Oreo eating contest, anything. We never quit. And I love that about them. They're totally in the game. They believed completely. Our red zone defense is very, very stingy. We're giving up field goals and or stops on fourth down. We really got after the passer, which was great. We really pressured the passer on defense, and I think they only rushed for like 111 yards or something like that, which is incredible because they beat a pretty good Tennessee team the week before, pretty good. So those are all things I am very happy about. I thought Jalen Jones played well. He came in, and I think he was, figure it out somewhere here, but I just looked at it. But he was 60-some% throwing the ball. He's really only had one bad game throwing the ball. He's been, in the high 60s throwing, and then of course with his legs he can make explosive plays. We ran option really well. We ran our screen game really well, and Colin made some really big plays too on catches down the field for the tight ends, which we really want to incorporate more. We focused on that, and then I think the general spirit of we keep saying there's no moral victories, and there aren't. But we had the ball twice inside the red zone. Once on the 6, on the Jack Hystera catch, and once on the 13. And it is a 2-score game. And both of those are called back on penalties. The calls were good calls. They were fine. They were fine calls. My point is that we moved the football. We had our chances. We have to stop making those mistakes. We made less this week than we did the week before. And what I see from our football team is that we're getting better every week.
Gary, Coach, you mentioned in the postgame about how you with Kyle began with the offensive line, Mike Miller, Ryan Osborne was drawn up. Can you just talk about the coaching staff and what you saw from them last week and how they can take that going forward?
Yeah, they were great. I mean, they're just a bunch of smart young coaches that are highly competitive. And, they kind of compete against each other, right? Often, how it is on football teams. It's offense, defense, special teams. And I would add Greg Froelich in there. Our special teams have been lights out. I mean, we've played against some elite special team returners and we've done incredibly well. We've protected well, we've covered well, and we've returned well. Um, Defensively, we were outstanding. I mean, I think when the University of Florida is forced to kick field goals at Florida, and it's fourth and a half a yard, and it's 19-7, and we've been in the red zone twice, had it called back, and they elect to kick. I think that says everything you need to know about what they thought about our team. Um, and and then, look, again, offensively, we outgained them for 3 quarters, and they're elite. I mean, I just want you to know that they are an unbelievable football team. They've got unbelievable players, and they're really, really well coached. They're going to go really far. So, I thought our coaches did a great job. They're different stylistically, right? Like Coach Froelich he's very kind of analytical and quiet. On the other side of the spectrum is Oz, who's incredibly intelligent, but is very animated. And then in the middle is Mike, who's incredibly intelligent and very competitive, and more right down the center of the fairway, I would say.
Coach, you talked about Jalen earlier. He came in midway through the second quarter, played the rest of the way. He obviously started the game as well. Is he your starter moving forward?
We don't know yet, and that's not a coach answer. We just don't know yet. We got to see depends on who we play and what they do, and what we think we can take advantage of. Both guys are going to play for sure.
Jeremy, question for both coach. Talked to Yavi in the post game after you left. Said that you and Coach Osborne were kind of hard on it this week leading into practice, saying, "Hey, you're the big game. See you have that big game that lit a fire." And he said he kind of took that personally when he wanted to kind of guys who he was. Can you talk about that interaction? And then for Clowney, can you talk about maybe what gets you going and someone like the coach value in that way also?
I'll let you go first.
Um, as far as that, I feel like I'm already riled up before the game. You know, Coach Oz, he expects a lot out of us, me and y'all both. So yeah, I don't think there's anything that really has to get me fired up. I think me and y'all are both always fired up just going into that game. Because we want to win. Coach Biff wants to win. As a program, we want to win, so, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Of course, we have our individual things that we want to accomplish, but the winning comes first. So, Coach Oz gets us fired up. Like him just being what he is for us, we're already fired up going into the game. So,
Yeah. So, Ayabi went to Oz and said, "I want you to coach me as absolutely hard as you can." And Oz just lit him up and held him to a very high standard. And he played probably the best game of his career. I thought this kid played the best game of his career, too. And now that's how football works. Now, these are the two starters this week, right? The depth chart is agnostic. There is no favoritism on the depth chart, and so we feel really good about how both these guys played. Feel really good about how this guy played too.
Hunter, Colin, the Titans spring game has been kind of a staple of getting the offense going in some of these games. What does that kind of do for your relationship with the quarterbacks, knowing like, hey, this is a quick, easy throw, and you can move the chains, kind of moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's just the first third down in that drive. It's something easy to go to, especially because, Florida was lighting us up with blitzes all game, and the screen game works really well when you're getting blitzed like that. So it's just an easy completion, and hopefully when you turn around, there's no one there.
And one more on this. I talked to Traxler the other day. He said y'all are roommates. What is that connection like between you and Trax?
Yeah, I'm always with Trex. That's my guy. So, being out on the field with him is fun, and I know if I'm open, he's gonna put it on me. So.
Colin, again, can you talk about the differences? Not that, but when Jalen's rolling out, and you have to kind of
Yeah, I mean, I think a big thing with him too is he can run, right? So you got to be, a pass threat if he's looking to throw the ball downfield, if he's scrambling, but you also have to be ready to block downfield for him. And me and him have a good connection like that, and you kind of know when he's going to take off running or when he's looking to throw it. So, just remaining or trying to remain a target downfield for him, and if he's going to run, stick a block for him.
For the players and the coach, obviously we knew American Athletics would happen. Talk about what that means for the status, progress of this program and its 10th year.
You go first.
I'm sorry, could you say the question again?
First American Athletic Conference game. We knew it was going to happen, but now it's here. What does that mean to you for the progress of this program?
Oh, yes. I mean, Coach Biff said it at the what was like the conference thing they had went to. I mean, we want, like I said, we want to win. I mean, going into this conference play, I mean, our record is not what we wanted it to be. So I feel like we all got something to prove as a team. So yeah, I just really feel like we got something to prove, and I want us to go in and dominate this next game.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good challenge for us. New conference, and like Clowney said, we want to win this thing. So we got a little chip on our shoulder, and we're excited for it.
It's great to be in a league, right? It's great to be in this league, but it's great to be in a league because every team that's in a league wants to win the league. I mean, that's everything. If you are perfect coming out of a preseason and you don't win your league, it's like, if you're 0 for coming out of your preseason and you win your league, there's an old football saying, nobody remembers what you do in September, right? You've heard that before, right? They remember what you do in November. And so we have a chance, to be a phoenix, resurrected from the ashes. And, we know what we're getting into. I mean, we're playing in Dallas. This is a team that is SMU's a really good football team, so good that the Atlantic Coast Conference picked them to come join them. So they're really another Power 5 school that we're going to go play, and it's it's going to be a very, very, very tough contest for us, and another steep hill to climb. But we're excited. We're excited to ask your question.
Anyone who watches can see the progress, can see reasons to believe in the growth, but how do you not let the losses weigh on you? I mean, just the emotional human factor, Coach. How do you not let that run weigh on the team?
You wouldn't have a very long life in athletics if that weighed on you, because nobody's perfect, right? Nobody's perfect, and even Jordan and the Bulls lost games, right? So you have to keep it in perspective, and the perspective is that as long as you're getting better, then we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and we're clearly getting better every week. And actually, the progress from 3 to 4, the progress from 1 to 2 and then from 3 to 4 has been just very pleased with. And, it's about process too. You can't think about it as far as wins and losses go. You have to think about every rep, every practice, every day, every fundamental, every block, every tackle, every run, every eye placement, every hand placement, because it's football. And you just have to play football. If you let all that other stuff get in your head, then you might as well buy a ticket and sit in the stands, because you're not playing, you're rooting. And we're not going to do that, at least not yet.
Coach, kind of following up on that thought, progress being what it is, I know that you earlier said there are no moral victories, but it seems like there's almost like a
I would agree with that. And I would tell you that that's a question I really would like each of our players to answer. And then I'll come back and answer mine. But really what matters is what they think. And so, Colin, you start, and then we'll go over to mine.
Yeah, just kind of what he mentioned. Each game, we've just been getting better and better. And you go back and watch the tape, and it's 3 plays in a game that could really be the difference. So, we're right there, and we're looking to blow the lid off this thing. So,
I'm gonna speak for the defensive side of the ball. I mean, we did some good things in Gainesville on defense, offense also, but I just feel like with Oz as our D coordinator, he's so hungry that it makes you hungry. Not that we're not hungry. So with us, it's just I feel like on defense we still got a lot to improve, and we're only going to get better. Like I don't know if people see it, but like, our defense for sure is going to be a lot better than what it has been. Even though it's been okay, like we can be a lot better.
And I would answer it this way, you've been to a farm, right? You've seen a silo. It's a silo every week because you could be 4-0, right, and let that get in your head and lose a game, and it could ruin your season. So truly we do have a 24-hour rule. We analyze, celebrate, grieve over 24 hours, and then we are moving on to the next deal.
Another Yachty quote, I guess this is for everybody, says in the post game that after the Maryland really fast start, you're up 14-0, you didn't think you guys took the foot off the gas, but you felt like there was an exhale on the sidelines, and the exact opposite was the same, or exact opposite happened for UF, where it's just next play mentality, it doesn't matter what's going on, you might be playing really well, but get too happy with that big kick on the board. Talk about staying even keeled, staying with that next play mentality.
I mean, just being on the other side of Yop, I mean, he has that fire. So, I mean, I agree with everything he said. That's big. During the game, not getting too high, not getting too low, because at halftime the score is 0-0, no matter what the score is. So, I agree with everything he said.
yeah, that kind of what Clowney alluded to, just not riding that emotional roller coaster throughout the game. And I think more importantly, we talk about this every day as an offense, just doing your job, right? If you do your job for 60 minutes, I think you're going to like the outcome. And so that's kind of been the emphasis, is just doing your job.
It's major college football. Really hard to win a game in major college football. Everybody has good players. Some guys have better players than others. And it's not that you're not going to give up a big play. It's that you're going to tighten up once that big play occurs. And that's what I think you saw Saturday. And that is a really important hurdle for a football team to get over. You're not going to not give up a sack, but it's how you respond. In the first quarter offensively, we were miserable. And then we started hitting explosive plays and driving the ball, and we had a chance to win the football game. And there's no doubt about it. Anyone that was there knows that. And we hurt ourselves with those plays being called back. But you're going to play 150 snaps. They're not all going to be pretty. It's not what you did on the last one. It's what you're going to do on the next one. And this team has a very gritty, short memory perspective, which I'm really proud of. I love coaching teams like this, and this team has it. And look, we talked about this yesterday. We're going into an absolute hornet's nest on Saturday. I mean, we're going into a hornet's nest, right? They're really good. They played Oklahoma really tough. They played TCU really tough. They beat La Tech and Prairie View pretty good, and they're used to winning, and their goal is to win this league and move to the ACC. But they want to win it before they go, and we know that they are waiting for us. And so we have a lot of work to do this week, and what we did at Florida is something to build on, but that's over.
Coach Terrell didn't travel this past weekend. You did mention that he was going to be healthy and when do you expect to see him?
Who was that?
Terrell.
Oh, Darrell. Yeah, he's healthy, and so is Kelman. Actually, let me just think for a second, because what are you laughing about? My mind isn't what it was 20 years ago. I think that Jalar Holly got his surgery today, or he's getting it right now. And then Panda Askew is going to get labrum surgery. But other than that, I think we're healthy going into the game. As of right now.
Hunter, was just going to ask about a couple others. Julius Welshaw, Des Morgan, Jairus.
Oh, yeah, they're all good. Yeah.
Go ahead, follow. This is not a follow-up, but for Colin and Coach, third downs have been a struggle this year, 24%. I looked into it a little bit. The average down and distance on third down
It's 9.6.
it's
Yeah.
a lot. So going in, moving forward, you have what goes into obviously you can't give away the game plan, but what goes into having that early down success so you don't struggle with that season?
Why don't you go first?
Yeah, I think, first and foremost, establishing run game early. That's a big thing in our offense. And then it really just comes down to penalties, right? And doing your job is what causes those to not happen. Holdings, you taking a sack, things like that if you just do your job, they're not going to happen, right? Doing what you're coached to do. And then we can have that early down success, and our third downs will be more of 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3, right? And that's much more manageable.
That was really well answered. It is a matter of offensively missed assignments, doing your job, not taking a sack when you can throw it away. Those sacks really skew those statistics. Not missing a block when we're running it on first or second. Not making a wrong read on first or second. But look, we are who we are, right? We're not going to miraculously come out this week and throw it 50 times. That's not going to happen. And as long as I'm sitting in this seat, that will never happen. But we will be better on first and second down production, staying in front of the chains, and then that'll allow us to convert third and fourth down, which we're pretty good on fourth down. But maybe we should just come out and run like quadruple reverses on first and second down. I'm thinking about it, actually, adding a pass to it too. So double pass was there, yeah, minus 13.
Do we have any other questions for these guys? Okay, Hunter?
Devon, SMU plays with a high tempo on the top of the nation. They're gonna be running in and out, a lot of guys, substitutions and whatnot. How key is communication in a game like this?
It's big. Handling that tempo is big also. So, just being in practice and practicing it, because, practice makes perfect. So just out here when we go to practice, just practicing that tempo and getting to the sideline, getting our calls, and just slowing the game down,
Anything else? All right, Mr. Slarton?
Mentioned last week going into Florida that Florida was full stop. Conference is next. And I guess maybe all three can answer this. What exactly did you learn in those 4 games about this team, in the first 4 games that this team has played together, that can be kind of put into the pot to take
So thanks for the question. It's a good question. What I have found after 4 games is that I love our players. I love them as human beings. I love our young coaches. I wouldn't want to coach any place else. I wouldn't want to coach any other team. I wouldn't want to work with any other coaches. I've also learned that these guys that we brought in here and the guys that were here that we kept, they're a little rusty, right? I mean, some of them played some football, but a lot of them were really great high school players, and their college careers, for one reason or another, didn't work out the way they wanted them to work out. And as we go along every week, we're knocking more and more of the rust off, and we're seeing some unbelievable things that are really, really positive. I mean, you look at Trexler Ivy. I mean, the kid didn't play. He's a walk-on. He didn't play much. He's played really well. You look at Jalen Jones. I mean, there's a guy that's had 4 or 5 offensive coordinators. He's just learning our system, and his production's pretty spectacular. You look at this kid. I mean, he comes from the SEC where he did some good things, but it didn't work out the way he wanted it to work out. And then how fitting he goes into Florida and plays the game of his life. And then this guy, I didn't even know who he was, right? And now all of a sudden, I mean, I think he's got the best hands on the football team. And, so I just see so much that I really like. You look at John Wallace, the walrus. I mean, this time last year, he's working on the floor of a pretzel factory. He played 25 snaps in the swamp against Florida, and he was a big reason they rushed for 111 yards. So you see these unbelievable storylines coming together, and really what you see is, like, for me as one of the coaches, what I really see is, like, I feel like I found I mean this, like, have you ever found, like on the beach, you find like a plastic like baggie with stuff in it, and it's been in the sand and in the beach for a while, and you got to take it down and wash it off to find out what it is? Well, I feel like I found a baggie full of, like, gold doubloons. I just really feel like we've got a really good team, and we're going to get nothing but better. And we're gonna work on the things we don't do well to get them better. The things we just can't feel like we're going to spend too much time on, we're going to flush those. And then we're going to keep doing the things we do well. We're going to keep getting better at. But you can't coach hustle. You can't coach toughness. You can't coach grit. You can't coach belief. And they got all that. And I am of good cheer. I really am. And you'll know when I'm not, because I'm not a very good actor, right? So after Georgia State, I was not of good cheer, but I'm of good cheer after the first 4.
Any other questions?
What was the movie at Florida?
The Expendables.
That was a next.
Well, in full disclosure, I did not go because my daughter surprised me. But we do have an awesome movie this week, which we can't tell you about because it is not playing in theaters. Our DFO, Nick Decker, works some magic, but I just tell you, I'll give you a hint. It's a Liam Neeson.